Hey everybody, welcome back to Boho Jewel here on YouTube. So I made this cute little glove last weekend. I was feeling a little Halloween-y, so I got Halloween colors, the black and the orange. I had gotten some yarn intending to make a different project to share with you guys, but this one was quite a bit thicker, so I switched things up a little bit. So I'm going to show you how to do this. It's a really basic technique. You basically just need to know how to do a single crochet stitch, and then I will show you how to join the yarns together, the different colored yarns, and finish the top. But the fingerless gloves are a lot of fun. I like them just because when it's craft show season, if I'm outside, you know, I can keep warm and I can still use my fingers to handle money and wrap things up with. So I did this one with a black base and the orange trim. But for video purposes, because the black isn't going to want to show up too well, I'm going to start with the orange yarn. Now I am using this Red Heart Super Saver yarn. It is a 4 weight and it calls for a 5.5 crochet hook. I am using a 5 simply because that's what I have, and I haven't found a 5.5, so I don't know why. So I'm using this, so that's fine too. If you use a slightly bigger hook, it makes it a little bit bigger, it makes it a little looser. So one thing to note, the reason I seem to have gotten the wrong yarn, this is a 4, a medium 4, but it's thicker than the medium 4 that I had used before, different brand. So it's just something to keep your eyes out for when you start looking for yarns for different projects. So let me get a good bit of yarn going here. So I am going to start my knot, my slip knot, and I just like to take it over around the back, pull it up, and then I just slip my crochet hook through. Boom. So first thing I'm going to do is chain 40. So as you can see, that creates a pretty long glove. I mean, it goes up pretty high, so if you wanted to make it shorter, you could definitely make it shorter, but I'm going to do 40. So just a chain of 40. Spin around and pull it through. That's 1, 2, whoops. I get quiet when I'm counting because I'm not so good with the numbers. And, oh. There we go. So now we have our chain of 40. And again, if you want to make this shorter for yourself, you can kind of guesstimate about how big it's going to be. You can lay the yarn or your chain on top and see about how far you want it to go from the tops of your fingers down your arm. So if you're making this like for your kids, like I made my daughter a couple of gloves, you know, you can make it shorter, just measure it to their hands. So now all we're going to do, super easy, we're going to single crochet into the chain, okay, and single crochet, very basic stitch into the first chain, pull that yarn through, and then pull it back through. In the next stitch, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over and pull it through both. So just basic single crochet all the way down the row, all the way to the end. All the way down. Okay, so I'm going to finish that and then I will come back. Okay, so I have done my single crochet all the way down my row and we are at the end of the row. So simply chain 1, just pull that yarn through, chain 1, turn the entire work, and I'm going to single crochet all the way back down the row, but instead of going through the entire next stitch right there. Instead of going all the way through, I'm just going to go through the back loop. So I'm just going to go down in here, right in between, pull it up, and single crochet. And the same thing on all of them. I'm just going to into that back loop, it's a little blurry, into that back loop, and single crochet. All the way down the row. And what happens, that gives it that interesting little, almost like a ribbed texture. And since this yarn was so thick, it still ends up being a really nice, thick, chunky glove, cozy, but it takes a little bit of the bulk out of it. I feel like it makes it feel a little more flexible than if I had just single crocheted down the entire thing. Now you could do that too. You could do just a regular single crochet through both loops all the way down and create a pretty glove that way as well. But this gives it that nice texture. So it's going to create this kind of these, and it's hard to see on the black right here, but you can see the ridges on there. So I'm just going to do that back loop all the way down. And when I get all the way to the bottom, I'm going to chain one and turn and continue just doing that. Just continue single crocheting into the back loop on each row. So that's it. That's basically the whole pattern. So I'm just going to keep doing that, and I'm going to do that for 11 rows. So once I get to row number 11, then I am going to show you how to change the yarn, a really nice simple way to change the yarn to a new color. So back loop, single crochet into all of them. When you get to the end of your chain, you're going to chain one, turn it, and back loop, single crochet down each row for 11 rows. I'm going to go make my 11 rows and I will be back. Okay, so we are back, and well, I'm back. I guess you guys didn't go anywhere. So I'm working on my last row, my 11th row right here. So this is row 11, and at the end of it, I'm going to add the black yarn to create this this stripe right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep doing my back single crochet, back loop single crochet, really close to the end. Let's see. And there's my last stitch. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it through the last stitch. I'm going to pick up some of my yarn, and I'm going to just work it with this orange yarn. So I'm going to pick this up, and I'm going to work both of them together. Get a handle on it there. So now I'm going to pull that orange and the black yarn together through my last single crochet. So now I've got the two on there. I'm going to drop my, get rid of that little wispy. I'm going to drop the orange yarn. I'm going to pick up the black yarn. Let me get them switched so they don't get noodled. I'm going to pick up the black yarn, and I'm going to finish that just like that, and then I'm going to do my chain one and turn. So I've seen several different ways that people will finish these. That personally is my favorite, rather than tying a knot and then trying to figure out what to do with the knot. So that way, that gets that pretty secure until I finish it at the end. So I'm going to cut my orange yarn for now and leave a good little bit of length on there. It doesn't have to be a lot. Tighten that up just a little bit, and now I'm going to just continue on. So I'm just going to carry on in my back loop, go across, just back loop, single crochet all the way across. And I am going to do that for the next few rows. The reason that I put it here is I kind of like how it looked along the side When I put my hand in there, the little thumb part is there. So I like that as kind of a little side stripe. So, of course, you know, the great thing about these really simple patterns is you can do this however you wanted to, now that you know how to change the yarn as well. You could do every couple of rows. You could do a little stripe or a pattern. So I am going to do this now. This is row number 12. So row 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 I'm going to do with the black. So 12 through 16, I am going to crochet in my black yarn, and then we're going to switch it back to the orange. So I will show you again when I get there how to switch it again, how to turn it back to the orange. And then that will basically be it. And then I will show you how to close it up and how to finish all these little ends. So I will be right back with an even bigger piece of fabric.